welcome back to the podcast. And today I am joined by Emily.
With by Emily.
With by Emily this time.
With by.
As always.
With whom to shall.
And we're just going to be chatting everything from Birmingham, our experience.
Watch the first podcast before you watch this one.
Yeah.
So you can see us say what times we were going to get versus the times
You need the context. You need the context of the two, but then also as well know that it's all right to not do what you want to and actually say it with your chest and learn from the mistakes. I don't think a lot of people speak about that.
No, we're just transparent as glass over here.
Being us.
I've not done this week. I left one of my sessions and then I got to the track yesterday and it was iced over and she was like, "Do you have spikes?" I was like, "Do I look like someone who has spikes?"
We clearly do.
Well, clearly, evidently so. And I was like, "No, I don't." So she was like, "You have to go on the inside track." Okay.
I want some fresh air though.
And yeah, exactly. Like I've actually really started enjoying my track sessions. So I'm on the indoor track and obviously it goes up on like a thing, like a bloody velodrome. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I'm not doing this." Like, because I was just like, it's so close to the race. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to
You could slip.
go weird on the track and it's going to be hitting my muscles differently. People are running anti-clockwise, people are running clockwise. And I just thought, take me home. Take me home. And I walked home down the canal and I was just like, this has been a shit training week.
Yeah, but that's fine. Sometimes you do that.
Yeah. I'm just tired.
The week before Manchester with me, I had...
Yeah.
Well, not even speak about it. Because obviously we did Birmingham and then I just had to taper.
Yeah.
So I think I only had about 4 sessions, maybe 6 sessions in 2 weeks. And I actually performed better.
Yeah. Well, I said to my friend Joe, because I just said to him yesterday, I was like, I just feel like, actually it was Wednesday, I feel like there's such a pressure at the moment of you should be able to show up every day and you should be able to do hard workouts every day and do mad shit every day.
This winter arc.
Yeah, this all of this sort of
fuck
stuff.
Off.
And I said
Sorry, that's really aggressive.
Well, no, it's true though. I said to him, I was like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like,
I can't do it.
I'm just a girl. Sometimes, and I feel like no one talks about it. I feel like everyone's always like, yeah, fuck it, I'm an animal. I can do really hard shit. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, actually, my brain is waking up every single day and is like, I've got to go and do something that I don't really want to do every single day because it's not that I don't want to do it because I enjoy it, but it's hard. So you're going to have a hard thing to do every day.
I also think I think it's really, really hard as well. Obviously, we both own our own businesses. We also as well have our clients to worry about.
Yeah.
We've then got to deal with, obviously, getting them ready, making sure that they're feeling 10 out of 10. Then alongside that, making sure we're feeling 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Then having a life outside of that, it is a lot, especially at this time of year as well, when there's so many social little bits.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I feel like there's no time to just sometimes I just want to sit.
We've not seen each other for 2 weeks.
Not seen you in 2 weeks.
Oh, no, I think it's 3 weeks.
Did I see you after the race?
No. It's been 3 weeks.
So have I not seen you since Birmingham?
You've not seen
me
Yeah, you've not seen me since Birmingham.
Wow, yeah.
And
that's a lot for us.
That is a lot. But it's because we've just been so busy.
So busy.
And the thing is, Birmingham, I think, wrote us both off after that, I'm not going to lie.
I feel like after Birmingham, it was such obviously you were in the car on the way home with me whilst I was pecking your head and annoying you the whole time.
The song.
Okay, so I uploaded this thing on Instagram. I'm not into vanity metrics, I don't care. But it got 700 likes in 30 minutes. And I was like, what is going on? So I was just refreshing my phone, wasn't I? But I had the song it's going to be you and me.
In the car.
And my car was my phone was connected.
Saskia, if you're watching this, you know what song that is.
You know, girl.
2.5 hours on the way home. That was on repeat. That little sentence.
Because I was just refreshing it and then straight off again.
And then we got to Manchester and I went, Emily, stop.
Yeah.
I snapped.
I felt dead bad.
I went, Emily, just stop.
I felt terrible. I was just you know what
That's
it's like
why I've
when
not
we're
seen you
finished.
for 3 weeks.
I know, yeah. Well, I know it's terrible, but you know when you just
You're obsessed with
you're
looking
obsessed
at
with
it.
looking at it because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I've just done that. And then I'm getting loads of people messaging me and I'm like, I can't believe how many people are bothered that I've done it. Wow, I don't care, but I do care a little bit.
We do care.
I do care. And yeah, but I didn't expect like the emotional fatigue. Like I knew it was going to be tiring. And in the race, I was like, you knew it was going to be hard. So why are you moaning that it's hard? You knew it was going to be hard. Crack on. Like, let's go. And that was fine. Physically, I was fine. I didn't expect like the emotional, like.
And I think that's what a lot of people forget.
Yeah, like because I think when you finish a doubles, you are on such a high and you're on a high for ages because you've 9 times out of 10 you've halved everything apart from the run. So you've had time to like soak it in. And when you are doing it, you're thinking, I've got to keep going because I've got my partner next to me and I'm doing it for them. On your own, like you're actually arguing with yourself for an hour and like I was there for an hour and 20 minutes and 37 seconds. But I was like, literally it was like, my brain was going, Emily, stop. And it was like, no, keep going. And it was like, you're being mean to yourself because you're like, I need to be mean to myself to get myself through this race. And no one talks about it.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. And this is one thing I was saying about also as well, like we haven't raced in 9 months. If you've not watched the podcast that we did previously, like on the pre-Birmingham, please watch it because of our expectations on it. Like everything can go perfectly in training. We can set a number for ourselves and it's all right if you don't hit that number.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people now are beating themselves up for not hitting that number essentially at the start. And I think that's one of the first things you said to me when you finished. You was like, was that all right? And I was like, mate, it's your first race in 9 months. Like,
it was because, and I think a lot of people went into this season looking at times from last season. For women, we have 25 extra wall balls, which I know is not a lot in the grand scheme, but on that final bit, I think those final 25 probably took me the longest out of the entire amount of wall balls. And also, like Birmingham in particular, the rock zone was a joke. Like it was huge.
Just a heads up, London is the same.
Yeah, but I'm glad about because the times are comparable. So it's like, it's different. I think it's hard when like people go and do Birmingham and then they go and do Manchester and they're like, oh, I've done a 10-minute PB. It's like, wow.
It's a different race.
Yeah, it's a little bit different with that because it's like, I couldn't get over Birmingham. I couldn't get over the size of it. I was like, why am I still running?
It's massive, like absolutely massive. Like,
like it's so big. I feel like I could like
the
cry.
rock zone. It's brilliant for when you're on the actual runs because the runs feel so fast. They were fast.
The run, and it was only 2 laps of the track, so it's
we
like
both was running sub 5 minutes.
Sub 5, babes.
We were both running in sub 5 minutes. The rock zone weren't sub 5. No, I was in there 7.5 minutes.
And you know when you're like running around and people are like, dig deep, straight back to running. And I'm thinking, straight back to running. I've got another kilometre just to get back out the rock zone. And then I'm back out onto the track for another one.
Because depending on where you was, well, when you was coming from the ski, you probably had about 500 metres to come back to the out again. So it adds up and you don't take that into consideration when you do the sims, when you do the training sessions. Obviously, you can kind of add in like a 1.2k run, but even still adding the 1.2k into your training, like in a HYROX style session, it's still not comparable because
you mentally, once you're in that rock zone, you clock in different.
Yeah, you do.
Like you can do all the training you want and be like, oh well, once I'm in. Like, I'm just going to get used to running 1.6 at HYROX pace or whatever to be really prepared. The minute you go in, you're like, right, let me start slowing that run down now because I'm going into, do you know what I mean? It's like a mental change.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a lot.
I think as well, because it's like the first race of the season, so I believe Birmingham was an incredible race, but I feel like there was a lot of pressure on the first race. Like, do you know what I mean?
So much.
The first race of the season, you put pressure on yourself to set the bar really, really high. But the reality is you need a few races to warm yourself back up into the season.
For sure.
Unless you are like
insane.
an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
Or, like, we are incredible athletes. Just to say, we are incredible athletes. But I feel like when this isn't something that we've been used to, we're not used to our adrenaline levels. We're not used to dealing with them adrenaline levels.
Yeah.
We can't be expecting to deal with them like someone who's been doing athletics for the last 10 years of their life.
I say this, like, I didn't even grow up doing competitive sports as a kid.
We didn't do that. We did like dance.
Nothing. I did dance.
We did dance.
It was like, oh, should we go? Like, we performed on the West End. That was the biggest thing that I ever did. But
I didn't even do that.
Like one of these, but it was like one of those, like, it didn't matter. Like, it wasn't, if you messed up, like, oh, whatever, it's cute. Like, oh, look at 7-year-old Emily messing up, bless her. You know, like, there was nothing at stake. Like, there was nothing to win. There was nothing.
I wouldn't say there's nothing really at stake here. Like, what have we got to lose?
My dignity.
No, you're not.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, there's nothing to lose, but it's just when you work very hard for something and your life is revolved around it, you want to do yourself proud. So I think then when you go into a race like Birmingham, where it was a lot bigger than expected, now you would know, you'll always know, right, if it's in something like the NEC or XL, it's going to be a big race, you know that. But when you don't go in with that expectation initially for your first race of the season, you think, oh, it'd be fine. I'm just comparing it to my race in Manchester last season. I should be able to meet what me and Moll did, doubles, like, absolutely. And then you go in, you train for it all year and you walk into that race and you're just like, that was a traumatic event. And it was amazing, but it was like, wow.
I also think as well, because when I did Manchester with Katie a few weeks ago, it was such a different experience because I knew the course. I have raced it. That was my fourth time racing in Manchester.
You're confident in the space.
I knew the layout, I knew the course, I knew the laps. I was so confident in that, and I think that is one thing that anyone can take away from this today, is that wherever you race in a HYROX, if it is, say, like, I'm going to Stockholm in a few weeks, like, that is a new race for me. Yeah. I can't be like, I'm going in with this expectation because I don't know what this expectation will be. Yeah. Like, when I race, we've booked Copenhagen now.
Have you? Yeah. Doubles or so?
Doubles.
Gorgeous.
So if you feel like coming.
When is Copenhagen?
Chloe wants a doubles partner. Beautiful. I think you'd be unreal.
Potentially.
We'll discuss that.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here. Chloe, I've just signed you up with the doubles. But wherever you go, if you've never ever raced at that venue, it's always going to be a PB for that venue.
For sure. That's what it is. Your PB is venue to venue. It's not race to race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of newbies coming into this are probably not wise of that, and you're probably thinking you're chatting absolute shit here about this, but when you've got a few experienced races under your belt, then that's when you will realise you can't actually genuinely compare because the rock zones are different. The layouts of the course, yes, it's all the same exercises and stuff, but the layouts on how they lay out, is the layout
is so laid out.
But yeah,
it is true.
It's different.
And I think, like, it is difficult because HYROX as a race is such an incredible race, but you've just got to go in with that sort of knowledge and understanding that it's not standardised across the board. So there's different...
Even though they're doing the best to try and standardise it.
Absolutely, but it isn't.
Because
like,
no venue is the same.
Yeah, it just isn't the same race. Like, and I think that is where I can understand where, like, frustration comes for all those people who are trying to get certain times, because you can only go to certain venues to, like, you know that if you say you're going to race Birmingham and Manchester, take them for example, like, you know you would do less time in Manchester than you would do in Birmingham, and that makes it then difficult when you're plotting your season and planning it. Yeah.
And I would say to everyone, I know obviously it's nice to plan your races in different places up, but if you want to be, like, consistent with comparable results, you need to be booking the same races season to season.
For sure, 100%.
If you are taking it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
If you are one of them people who just wants to do it fun, but also be able to kind of get your time down, you probably don't need to take it as seriously as plotting your season out. You can just rock up and have fun. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people celebrate them people enough. And that's something I'm seeing as one of the ambassadors, and that's something that I want to do within my, like, space and my community, is actually celebrate the girls who just want to go and complete it, but also get better each time that they do it. Not as, like, a competitive thing between anybody else, but a competitive thing with themselves. 100%. And I think that's so, so amazing for them girls to do it for them.
this is the thing, like, I think we both have similar messages across our social media platforms. We're both the people that probably, if you'd have told us 10 years ago we were going to be doing this,
would have laughed
be
in
like,
your face.
what? Like, do you know what I mean? I remember starting couch 5K at 14 and giving up. I didn't care. So if you were to then tell us we were doing this, we'd be like genuinely shocked and confused, but also like so incredibly, I think that's why we love it so much, because when we cross that finish line, we're so proud of ourselves. So regardless of like, okay, yeah, maybe I do have a bit of a frustration with the rock zone being that big, or there's a frustration, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not, regardless of that, I came out of Birmingham, yes, I didn't maybe get the time I thought in my head I was going to be nearing, but I was so proud, I was so happy, like nothing compares to that feeling. So it's like bringing other people into this space and showing them like you can do what you don't realise you can do, I think is like the most game-changing thing ever.
Yeah, and it's a superpower.
It is.
It's like giving someone that self-belief that they've not seen in themselves, but you can see it. And I think some people, when you are on like a consultation call or you are speaking on socials, you're telling them this, if someone's self-belief isn't there, they're probably going to be thinking you're chatting out of your fucking arsehole right here.
Like, I'm not capable of that. I'm not
You're lying to me.
Yeah.
You are capable of it. You have a choice. You have a power within inside you to actually be able to do it. And this is something that's come up a lot, and it's like you can, like me and Katie just said, in-source that power.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, you can go and do it, and that leads us back to like this winter art type of thing. Like, if you want to do it, you can go and do it, but that doesn't make a shadow of a doubt that it is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, it is hard to do it, and it's like you're not going to be motivated all the time. You're not going to want to do it all the time, and that's all right. Like, it's fine to feel like that, and that's part of the journey and the process of it all.
Yeah, like, you're only human. But I'm very, I think the biggest thing I've learnt this year is that you should do hard things, and you're not, hard things though doesn't always mean doing an ultramarathon or whatever. Hard things can sometimes be going to the gym. Today, for me right now, I'm telling you right here,
we're going to the gym.
Going to the gym is going to be hard for me today. That's my hard thing of the day, because it's like, I feel a little bit tired, I feel a little bit unwell, maybe got a bit of a mental block going on with the race next week. But that's my hard thing for the day. But you can't sit and just be like, I'm not going to do that because it's hard. Like, well, when everything is going to be like this for the rest of your life. Like, hard is relative to you and what is hard, but you can't just stay still. You can't
just say, like, don't want to offend anyone, but that's, to me, that's boring.
I think it's wild, genuinely, and it's not offensive. I think it's like if you're offended by that, you're
triggered and you need to do something about it.
Yeah, because I used to be so lazy. I'd do nothing. I'm not coming from that standpoint as someone who's like always had their shit together and like has always done this stuff. I never used to go to the gym. I used to eat a chocolate muffin for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I literally at uni lived off a pack of Jammy Dodgers a day and a Red Bull, and then alcohol in the evening. That was my life, seriously. And honestly, I was in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm not going to lie. I was in the best shape I've ever been in. But no, kidding. That is not a diet.
Don't recommend. We are professionals in this space. Yeah. We do not recommend that or condone that.
Do not recommend. But like, I think that's why I'm so passionate. Like, you can do it, because it's like, if I can do it and I was there, sure as hell a lot of people can do it.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I feel like shaking some people in the bag sometimes when I'm on the frigging consultation call with them, or I'm speaking to them on Instagram and I'm like, just wake up and see your potential. Why are you stopping yourself?
And I feel like do you know what my thing is?
Go on.
God, I'm going to give you this analogy.
Go on.
Right. Everyone says the gym's non-negotiable, doing this is non-negotiable, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to go and do it. Every day everyone gets up, they don't want to go to work, they go. Because you get paid. Okay, fine. That pay comes, it's not like you go to work and then you get that cash in hand 9 times out of 10 and then you go home. That doesn't happen. You have to keep showing up, and at the end of the month you get a paycheck, which, to be fair, I'm sure a lot of people in this economy will admit is pretty shit and doesn't go very far, yet you still show up every single day.
Yeah.
Then when we say, right, okay, well, you can go to the gym and you can see things that are you're gonna see benefits that will show up every single day for you. You will feel more productive, you'll feel happier, you'll start to see results towards your aesthetics and your physical goals. People are like, no, Why are you showing up for people who would replace you tomorrow, but you won't even show up for yourself?
Thank
you.
Well done. That is a very, very deep one. I think it's really, really hard for people to even get that perspective. And it's like, you will go out. Literally, we're doing the High 8 launch this week. Not this week when the podcast goes. We've just done it and we'll be in the depths of it now. But that's one of the reasons why we've started this now, because it's like, you will save money for a pair of trainers for Black Friday, right?
Yeah. You won't even save money. You're going to Zara and Klarna it.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. Anyhow, you will have saved money, right, to purchase a pair of trainers so you can get faster.
Yeah.
Or you will continue to pay for X, Y, and Z in order for you to get faster. That is not going to get you faster.
No.
That is just not going to get you any faster, because it's the material and the exterior things that you're doing. You're not doing the internal stuff, and it's the surface level shit that you're doing which is stopping you getting to that next point.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, why not just commit to doing something, like you said, for like 4 weeks and see what the reward is at the end of that 4 weeks.
See how you feel after 4 weeks. If you still hate it, come back. That's fine. I'll eat my words.
Yeah.
I'll eat my words, but I guarantee you won't. No, I've never ever had a client join me and after 4 weeks them go, I'm tapping out.
Or anything.
No. They love it.
Because we are unreal at what we do.
Because we're great.
But on the other side of things as well, like, stop holding back your own abilities.
Yeah.
Because you think it's better to hold back than fail.
Or just delaying starting something. And it's, I'll start in January.
Why?
I'll start that.
What's happening in January?
Yeah, what's not? I didn't know about January. What's going on? Like, and I get it, because we all do it on New Year's resolution. I'll start doing this. Well, if you just started tomorrow, you could be 4 weeks ahead by the time you're in January. And then you're really enjoying it when you're in January.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's hard. It's very hard. I want to be very clear that we both are coming from this of a standpoint of people who have been exactly where someone listening may be. Like,
you put off and put off and put off, and you still do the thing that's inevitably going to happen.
Yeah.
So what is the point of actually putting it off? You may as well just bite the bullet now and be 4, 6 months ahead, maybe even 12 months ahead of where you are now.
You also save money by investing in yourself because you don't waste time. Like, I think how much money I've spent on like a $6.99 app that didn't do anything for me, or like, you know, I think like obviously it got me into the gym all those years ago, but like, actually I think to myself, God, imagine how much progression I could have made if I'd have just took that first online coach that reached out to me. I wish I'd have just like took him up on his offer, and then I would have been miles ahead in terms of at that time, and my
also,
goals were to grow my glutes.
And off the back of that as well, if it doesn't feel right for you, question why it doesn't feel right with you, so you can see where you can
work on
move
next.
from.
Yeah.
So like, if it, say for example, it doesn't have to be coaching, it could be an app, it could be whatever you want to commit to. Like, it could be even committing to going for another job. Like, little things like that, or committing to a goal or things like that. Why is it feeling uncomfortable for you to go for that goal or set that goal for you right now? Question it. Like, actually ask yourself, why am I feeling uncomfortable right now? What is that like kind of icky feeling inside about this that's making me feel uncomfortable? When you realise what that icky thing is, you can then see where you can move from next, because you can question why that's an ick for yourself, to be able to move forward and process it and be like, right, okay, this is where I'm going to go from this. Might be with getting a new job. Why does it feel like you're getting a new job? All right, it's uncomfortable. All right, why am I feeling uncomfortable about this? And then you can work from that and build from that to be in a better space, rather than feel like, oh my God, I'm going to have to commit to this, and be like, oh, I'll see how that is.
Yeah.
Like, question it. Like, genuinely, the best thing you can do for yourself is question it. And it's like, with us in Birmingham and leading back to the racing and feeling like it is hard, like, when our first initial thoughts of that race, it was like, oh, we didn't get what time we wanted. I was frigging 15 minutes off the time that I wanted.
Same.
But like, that's fine. And it's like, we're in that race. That didn't make me feel comfortable. I know I will not allow myself to feel like I did at the end of that race ever again, no matter where it is. And I know you can't compare to bear, but I know in Stockholm I'll finish that race a lot better because I will enjoy the race a lot more rather than thinking, oh my God, I'm in this and I'm going to die. There was too much pressure. I think the first race of the season is always going to be hard, and I think anyone's first race in general is always going to be mentally hard. But the second time you do it, it's muscle memory then of knowing where you can pull yourself up from and feel incredible from. And I think that's one of the main takeaways from all this is like, listen to where your body is sending the signals of being like, this doesn't feel right, this feels a bit uncomfortable, where can I go from this moving forward?
And hold yourself accountable to it as well. So, okay, I didn't like the way that I felt there. Maybe this translates to you in a job somewhere that you're not enjoying. I'm not enjoying how I'm feeling here. Hold yourself accountable rather than sitting in that feeling. So rather than walking away from that race, we could have gone, I'm never racing again. That was terrible. Like, didn't get the time I wanted. I'm not doing it.
Training.
I'm not gonna. Instead, we walked away from it. We analysed the data. We look at where our weaknesses were. Where can we work on that in future? What can we do? We hold ourselves accountable. We show up to the sessions. We get it done, and we feel amazing for doing that. Translate that to another area of your life. You don't like your job. You hold yourself accountable to the misery that you're in right now. Right, I'm going to try and find another job elsewhere. And you, before you know it, all these little things that you start instilling through doing these things in life, like I feel like since doing HYROX, you build this strength in all the other areas of your life, and you start to level your life up everywhere else, because you just grow this sort of like respect for the accountability and what discipline can do in your life. And when you start to reap the rewards of that, it's like, I want to reap it in every other area.
And I think when you do it in that one area, it then reflects into the other areas, like you said.
Exactly.
Just naturally.
For sure.
Because your discipline is just...
You're like, I'm not going to take that shit anymore.
Through the roof.
See ya.
Literally through that. And you become a little bit more aware of like, right, okay, what feels right, what doesn't feel right, let's move with it. And like go 100%. From a more positive space of feeling empowered in the decision rather than disempowered, being like, oh, empower pod.
Empower pod.
But yeah, I think a lot of people got insight.
Yeah.
A lot of insight from that. I think obviously we both learnt a lot from Birmingham.
So much.
Obviously you've got your London race coming up, which best of luck.
Thanks.
She's gonna smash it. Like we've said, you've learnt from
I'm excited. I feel like I started the podcast a bit tired, but I'm genuinely excited. I'm really excited to see what I can do. I've been really training very hard the past couple of weeks, and
I do think you need a holiday after this.
And I'm going to go on holiday afterwards. I'm going to take a mini hiatus, go and celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I'm ready to hit the ground running in January. I really am. And even if next year I'm a bit more laid back, that's fine.
Right, so actually, London, you're going to go enjoy it. You're going to love it. You're going to thrive in it.
I'm going to really enjoy it.
This is second nature. This is your race. You're going to boss bitch it.
Yeah.
And we're going to catch up after Stockholm and thing it and just see how both races went.
Yeah.
But it's muscle memory now.
I'm so ready. Like, I know I've trained hard. I know I've got faster.
HYROX is your bitch.
It is. And also, when I think back to Birmingham as well, which we'll say quickly, I know that running-wise, I did everything I could have done, but I know at the stations I was gentle on myself. I was like, right, let myself have a minute.
Send it then.
So this time, I feel like I'm ready to go in and be like, and I'm ovulating right when I'm on the race, so I should be at my strongest and my best point. Yeah. Plan your races around your ovulation. Honestly, or just before your ovulation, perfect. So I should be feeling strong, I should be feeling good. And I am ready to go. I was
going to say something else and it's really inappropriate, I can't.
And I'll be ready to make a baby right after. And
Josh!
We are staying at that yacht hotel, you know.
What do you mean?
So where the Excel is, there's a hotel in a yacht just off the side of it called the Sunborn Yacht Hotel. Right. It was £10 more than Moxie. I thought, go on then.
We'll stay in a yacht.
We'll stay in a yacht, why not? I've actually stayed there before.
What's your point with making babies and...
Oh no, sorry, that was unrelated. But I've just realised that does sound like we're going to conceive in the yacht hotel. We're not at all. Cut that out.
You heard this first.
I'll be racing pregnant next year. No, I'm kidding. Imagine, that'd be so funny.
No,
Imagine I am.
No, you're not.
That would be so funny.
I mean, you can be if you want. I'm not controlling you. If you want to do that, you do that.
Imagine I was though, and then we stitched this video with me racing pregnant. And that would be so spooky. Woo.
Right, and on that note, we're going to end this podcast here. If you've enjoyed us chatting absolute shit, then please like, subscribe, and make sure you download, and I will see you in the next one.
And sorry for the tough love, guys. I just was feeling it today.
No, don't even apologise. They need it. They need it.
We're off to watch Elite 15.
We're watching Elite 15.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.